Hey there folks, Rel here. Today we'll be doing our very first class loadout guide, and this time it's for the Heavy Assault class with a build I call Leviathan. Leviathan is focused on short to medium range combat using fast firing LMG weaponry to keep the adrenaline shield online while harnessing C4 and dumbfire rocket launchers for that extra firepower. This build crosses over to any faction with only slight differences. You'll be seeing VS gameplay in this video, and I'm actually lacking the certifications it takes to bring this loadout to its full potential, but you should see the point I'm trying to get across with the gameplay. Let's look at the builds for each faction first, then break down the strengths and weaknesses of the loadout. For the VS, we're going to be using the Orion LMG, either with an infrared scope or a 1x reflex, no barrel attachment, and a forward grip. Your secondary is going to be a slow-firing, powerful weapon, so the Manicore for the VS, but this may change once the common pool heavy revolvers come out. The launcher we'll be using is the standard dumbfire launcher for each faction, but it can also be swapped out for the Decimator. I don't like the slower projectile speed or the longer reload time of the Decimator, so I'm just going to be using the S1. Regardless of faction, we'll be using the Adrenaline Shield, Grenade Bandolier, or Ammo Pack if it floats your boat, Concussion Grenades, and double C4. For NC, the weapon is the Anchor with the 1x scope or an infrared, forward grip, and soft point ammo. And this is preferable to the EM1 because the damage is higher, the rate of fire is on par, and the reload speed is shorter, and the Anchor actually has some slight advantages in the hipfire department. For TR, we're going to be using the MSRW, or the standard T9 Carve. It's up to you, but I think the MSRW is a better choice due to the shorter reload time and the hipfire accuracy advantages, but either are pretty good options. Same as the Anchor, we'll be using the 1x scope or infrared, and forward grip and soft point ammo. Leviathan was designed to deal primarily with infantry targets at short to medium range. The Orion is especially good for this because of the high firing rate, quick reload time, and bonus movement speed while aiming down sights. And by that I mean the Orion only receives a 25% movement speed penalty while aiming down sights, opposed to the 50% movement speed reduction of other LMGs. NC and TR do not have LMGs that do the same thing. It's a VS only advantage for the Orion and actually for the SVA-88 as well. But regardless of which faction you're a part of, you can dish the pain very easily. Each kill with a fully sorted adrenaline shield is going to instantly restore 25% of that bar. And I only have rank 1 in this, which kind of sucks, but it's a 5% bonus, and honestly it's not really that noticeable, so definitely put the certs into your adrenaline shield. I did spend some time in the firing range, and I can definitely tell you that I do want to sort it out, because yeah, that's pretty amazing. And if you don't already know, both the Nanite Mesh and the Adrenaline Shield protect you from 700 points of damage. So at maximum Adrenaline Shield rank, you're effectively leeching back 125 health for each kill. C4 is great for helping refill your shield in the right situation, and a direct hit from a rocket will instantly kill enemy infantry. Again, that's really good for leeching that shield back. The infrared scopes will probably help you more than the standard red dot will at greater ranges, just because it's easier to see exactly where and what you're shooting at, but if you have lower frame rates, I don't suggest using the infrared scope because it seems to take a little bit longer to pull that scope out. This may just be the case for me, but either way, it's something to take into consideration. The concussion grenades are great for paralyzing groups of enemies before you run into a room and drop some C4 off, but the effect only lasts 5 seconds, so you've got to know what you're doing and where you're going. A good practice is to switch over to C4 before tossing the grenade so you can maximize the time you get to take advantage of it. And the concussion grenade plus C4 combo is probably the easiest way to deal with enemy max units that you can get the drop on. And if the C4 doesn't kill them, then your rocket launcher definitely will. Leviathan does have some versatility to it, as you have the tools to deal with vehicles as well as infantry, so don't be afraid to C4 enemy tanks or Sunderers. And if you don't have a second stick of C4 yet, a couple of shots from the rocket launcher is usually enough to finish the job. This build is not made for sitting at distance because you don't quite have the accuracy to be effective, and it's meant to get in people's faces when they least expect it and then mow them down. And this is probably my favorite way to play the Heavy Assault class. Something you do have to watch out for, however, are enemies with a bigger close quarters advantage over you. So that's anyone using a shotgun, especially the pump actions, and even the SMG in some cases. So when you're fighting, try to stay mobile and use cover and corners to your advantage. And if you're playing primarily in towers or other close quarter situations, an automatic shotgun or the SMG with a high round capacity are good weapon replacements for this one. Leviathan rewards risk takers and uses an overwhelming amount of firepower to keep the fight going, so if you're the type of person who prefers playing on the front lines, this loadout is definitely for you. But if this video has been interesting or helpful, please feel free to like, subscribe, and tell your friends about the channel. And if you use this loadout or anything similar, please feel free to share your successes and triumphs in the comments below, or post a video response for everyone to watch. Thanks very much, folks. We're all signing off.